Okay, hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to take a look at the EVH 5153. I guess you could call it Mark II because it's the dual concentric pot version. And that fixes a lot of gripes people had with the older version, which people were having a lot of issues trying to get their volume between the two channels, between the clean and crunch, or channel 1 and 2 on this amp. It's not called clean and crunch, it's called 1, 2, and 3. To get the volume between channel 1 and 2 to really sit well, you had to really crank the amp to make that happen. But a lot of times you couldn't crank the amp like that. So this one fixes that complaint. You can do it pretty much any volume now, and your clean stays clean. For example, and with that I have the gain halfway on the clean channel. Very usable, but most people don't want to listen to EVH clean channels. They want to hear channel 2 and 3, you know, the blue and the red. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into the blue and the red, because I live on the blue. I love the crunch channel in this, hitting it with a boost. We're going to do that. We're going to hit the crunch channel with a boost. We're going to check out channel 3. We're going to circle back around and run some pedals on the clean channel, because I don't hear a lot of people giving the clean channel love as a pedal platform. It's not the greatest, but it's doable. So we're going to do some fuzz, some boost, things like that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and dive into it. We are using a 2 notes captor into wall of sound. We're using greenbacks with a 57 and a 121 microphone on the cab, and the reverb is coming from Earthquaker Devices Levitation. So here we go, channel 2. A little bit too much reverb. Okay, I like the reverb better there now. Alright, so channel 2 for me is plenty of gain for most of my applications, but when you start trying to do trim picking and some of the faster stuff, you know, it needs a boost. So we're going to go ahead and kick on an SD1. I have the SD1, we're going to put on the screen the settings for these pedals so you can see what we're doing. But this is the SD1 on top of the blue channel. We have the lows and the highs around 2 o'clock, and the mids are scooped a little bit. We brought those mids in a little bit. Okay, let's take the lows all the way out. I just rolled them all the way in there. That's all the lows. mids all the way in. I kind of like the mids all the way in. Okay, we're gonna roll them all the way out. Brought the highs all the way up. Alright, so I feel like the mids on this amp is very responsive, but there's a range where I like to use it at, which is between like 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And anywhere more or less than that, I don't really dig it. And I ended up right back where I started at. This is where I live on this amp. Alright, so we turned the SD1 off and we're going to check out the gain on the blue channel. You can kind of get a classic tone, but I just feel like there's not enough power to that when the gain's that low. It's just... Bringing the bass up helps a little bit. I would do the resonance, but I don't feel like getting up and fucking with it. It's on the back. I don't know why. The power, the standby, and the resonance are on the back. They could have made the amp a little bigger and put it on the front, but that probably would have brought the cost of the amp. So, but seriously, put it on the front. Taking the gain all the way up. That's the thing, this amp has plenty of gain for me. I mean, I don't need any more than that. I wouldn't use that much gain because I like the tightness of it down lower. So if I want to have more saturation, I'll just kick on the SD1. Or if I'm not looking to tighten up the sound, something like the Arrows, like a clean boost or a preamp boost, just to boost the signal with a little bit more saturation, but still keep a little bit of that tightness. Time to check out the red channel. Let's do it. Sorry, Kyle. Alright, so there we have it. That's the red channel. The gain is like 8, 9 o'clock. The lows are noon. The mids and highs are about 2 o'clock. And this has so much, there's so much gain on this amp too. I have a noise gate on. That's with the gain all in. About halfway is the most I would ever do on this amp. But really, I'd prefer it down here. It's tighter, it's more dynamic, better response. It's just so much fucking gain on this amp. All right, we put the highs and the mids are at noon, and the lows are at 2 o'clock now. That's the thing, this amp is too dark. I do not like my highs and lows anywhere near noon. Like, I just put them back to 2 o'clock. Even the presence is at 2 o'clock. It's very dark on this channel. We're gonna go back to the blue channel and mess with the presence now. I could almost use the presence all in, like give it all, just put all that presence in there. Now we have the effects loop on. Like I said, we have the reverb, levitation from our quicker devices in there, but let's go ahead and turn on a delay so we can check that out. And this is what the DM2 sounds like through the effects loop. The effects loop works great, the delay still sounds good, crisp, there's clarity to it. So last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the clean channel and put a few pedals on so you can hear that. So right now I have the Way Huge Russian Pickle on, and so it takes fuzz pretty well. Now let's kick the arrows on. So now we're boosting the Russian Pickle with the arrows. Cleans up a little bit of the muff quality. Now, the last thing we're gonna do is we have the arrows pretty much full up. without the arrows, with the arrows. Let's crank the gain up on the clean channel. And that's pretty cool. Like, I'm slamming it with the preamp and I've got the gain cranked. It's not farting out, it's not flubbing out, it's not losing its definition, it's still tight. All right, so there you have it, guys. That has been the EVH 5153. It's a really killer amp, and a lot of amps are based off the PV 5150 and the EVH lineage that are 2-3 times the money. It's a good amp. I'm not sure how well it's going to last up in the long run because I hear a lot of things about build quality, but overall, it's a good amp. The EQ is responsive. Everything about the amp, I dig. I dig the fact that the effects loop is foot switchable, so you can set your pedals in the effects loop if you have 3 or 4 you want to turn on, 2, whatever. Hit one button, leave those pedals on, and there you have it. There's your lead tone or whatever you're going to do with that. And then every channel is foot switchable, so you have 3 buttons, 1, 2, 3, and effects loop. So you have a 4-button foot switch. Pretty big though. It takes up a lot of board space if you're going to put it on your board. Drawbacks. There's so much crap on the back, and some of it needs to be on the front. The power and the standby and the resonance should be on the front. They could have done something different. Instead of putting chicken knobs, you probably could have got away with just putting 2 round knobs on the front and they would have fit. You know, you would have been able to put it there, I guess. I don't know about designing the circuit, how that would have worked out, but it's such a pain in the ass to reach around the back if you want to tweak your resonance setting or even just to turn the amp on. Like, I find myself just going for the orange because it's easier to use. I don't have to reach around for anything in the back. Other than that, it's a killer amp. So I hope you guys dug this video. If you could, go ahead and hit the like button down there, and I'll see you guys next time.